Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Community Awareness. If I could get everybody to please stand, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to remind everybody to please silence their phones, and I've got to go run over to mine real quick. And I would like to go ahead and introduce Mike Romero from Securitas. Forgot where I'm at.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you, Michelle, for having us. My name is Mike. I'm the Director of Security here at Sun Lakes. Next in command is Lieutenant Roman. We're here for you guys' needs and service. If you folks ever need anything that we can help you out or assist you with, we're just a phone call away. Just a few announcements for you folks today. I'm going to discuss some speeding issues and the use of vehicle entrances and exits by our pedestrians. We encourage all residents to use the pedestrian gates and have their keys on them to access the community for the gates. Due to some safety concerns, we would hate to see somebody get struck by incoming and outgoing traffic. As you can tell, we have a new fence that was recently installed in the front gate. As you can see, it's definitely something that we want to take advantage of. It's more for your safety. It helps to prevent pedestrians from using the vehicle entrance points of entries and encourages the use of the sidewalk instead. Please make sure to always use the sidewalk. Should you observe somebody entering Sun Lakes who looks suspicious, to please call security immediately. We also ask that your guests, residents, and staff please honor the speed limits inside Sun Lakes at all times. This is becoming a huge concern. We are doing our best to monitor as well as reporting to the safety committee. We are not doing any types of enforcements, but if any residents are out there and you guys are observing such violations, please don't hesitate. Give us a call, vehicle description, the intersections. We'll provide all that necessary information to the safety committee, and we'll let them do whatever regulations they need to enforce on that part. So just remain vigilant, be careful, especially in rainy weathers that we've been having recently. The roads are wet. People tend to do a little bit more speeding on the roads when they're wet, so just be careful out there. Another thing that's been brought up to our attention, pets need to remain on a leash. It's not only Sun Lakes policy, but it is also the state of California laws and regulations inside and outside of Sun Lakes. We will respond to and document all calls regarding unleashed pets inside the community. Common areas are not dog parks as of yet. Owners should always clean up after their pets and be vigilant and respect other dog owners who are leashed. Dog attacks are something that we've seen here in the rise as well at Sun Lake. So if you are a pet owner, please keep your animals controlled. Keep it distant from one another, because you don't know if that animal is going to react different towards one another. The last thing we want to see is another dog attack where owners will be held responsible for those incidents. So just be careful when you guys are out in the community with your pets. One more subject, to help expedite the guest registry, we ask that you please call our call center dispatcher and notify us that you're expecting company. By doing so, if you don't do that, it's going to create some traffic jams at the main gate. And then you're going to get calls from your guests. Hey, what's going on with the line? We're not able to come in. Call us. We'll get everybody in as soon as possible, as long as they're cleared for entry. If not, you guys are going to get a call from my officers. If you don't answer your phones, we'll leave a message. We're going to park your guests, which means your guest is going to be waiting for a few minutes by our main gates. We're also going to make sure that your guests are prepared to show their ID or driver's license or any state-issued form of identification and have the address ready. We have a lot of instances where guests show up and they say, hey, we're here to see Mr. Smith. Well, Mr. Smith is a very common name. We have a lot of Mr. Smiths here at Sun Lake, so it's Mr. Smith on Wailea, Laguna, et cetera, et cetera. So if they can have the address ready, that way we'll pull them up and we'll get them in for you as soon as possible. Parking enforcement is frequently done throughout all hours of in the community. Patrol will issue parking violations should a resident or guest be in violation. So make sure that your guest has a valid pass displayed on their dashboard at all times. Park in designated areas and make sure that there's any questions regarding where they should be able to park. They can call security. We'll let them know what's a good designated area to park at, especially in the condo areas, because parking on the streets is limited. So it's a very narrow street. We want to make sure that in case of an emergency, CDF or AMR is able to get through without any problems. So please make sure that those passes are obtained. If you need an extension on your pass, we do only 3 days and 2 nights at a time. So anything longer than that, you'd have to reach out to administration to get an extended time frame. They'll be issuing those orange passes for you to display for your guests. Garage door checks are still being performed between the hours of 8 p.m. and midnight. I know they're being done because I do see those reports on a nightly basis. So if we don't catch them, you be a kind neighbor, you can give us a call. We'll go out there and check it out, or we'll try to make contact with the resident, letting them know that the garage door is open. So we want to make sure that nobody comes in and does any theft occurrences, let alone wildlife. Summer's about us, folks. We're going to have a lot of coyotes, wild bobcats, and those guys are known to go inside your garage and kidnap your little fur babies. So make sure that you care for your loved ones. Make sure that they're safe inside the house, and close your garage doors when it's necessary. We ask that residents using the resident lane have an active transponder and resident decal on their vehicle. Should you flash a gate pass, you will be asked to come to the guest lane and check in. Officers will then verify the residents, knowing that you have a Sunlinks ID or have your address with a security code. I can't stress that enough, folks. My responsibility of the officers is to make sure that they're doing their due diligence by checking people in. That is what we're here to do. I want to make sure that my team complies with that request to make sure that only authorized guests are coming through. If you guys see any suspicious individuals attempting to gain access through an unmanned gate, call us. Give us a vehicle description. We'll check camera footage. I will dispatch a patrol officer to go check out that vehicle, and we'll turn them around to make sure that they're checking in properly. Other than that, we're getting ready for the summer. My team will be more vigilant. I'm going to have some more staff on board. I just need to make sure that everybody is aware of rules and regulations, and we are going to be there to assist during the summertime as well. So if you guys have any questions or concerns, you are always welcome to give us a call. Again, my name is Mike. This is Lieutenant Roman. Thank you so much for your time. I'm open for questions. Yes, sir.
In the past, when a guest came in the gate, we would get a text that they've come through. It seems like that system has stopped.
That is actually still an active system, sir. Do me a favor, when you get a chance after the meeting, if you want to give us a call, we'll make sure that your number is updated in the system, and I'll make sure to double check that you are getting those text notifications. That system is still in place, though.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I thought
It's encouraged to all residents, if you guys want to keep track of who we're letting in, to let us know that you want that option checked. So anytime a pass is printed for that specific address, you will receive either a text notification or an email with the date and time and the name of the officer that issued that pass.
Okay, so just contact the
Absolutely.
gate. Okay.
We'll be more than
Thank you.
happy to help you out with that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you. Thank you. During the summer, we're gone for several weeks, sometimes a month or more. Is there some activity that you would do if we can notify you that we're gone an extended time?
So we used to do vacation checks. Unfortunately, we did stop doing that because it became more of a liability issue on our part. We want to make sure the residents are responsible for that. However, I still make it a point to let the residents know to give us a call. Hey, I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks in the month of December. I have no problem adding a property to a watch list that we do monitor specific properties on to make sure that your property is checked on frequently. And we'll report if we see any suspicious activity. So we do encourage residents, still call us. This is what we're here to do, is to make sure that we keep the property safe.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you for your time, folks. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, so now I would like to present our presenter, Anud Mohammed. She is from Loma Linda University. So again, I want to make sure that you understand, if you have questions, she will answer them at the very end of our program. We don't want to interrupt her while she's trying to make her presentation, and you'll be able to ask her questions afterwards. Thank you.
Right, good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody doing? Can I take it out? All right, there we go. How's everybody doing? Good. I like to see all the smiling faces. I love presenting about nutrition, and I'm so glad that I'm here today. Thank you for the invitation. So like, what was your name again? Michelle. Like Michelle said, we'll take questions at the end, and I'll hang around to answer all your questions if you have any. And questions not only from this presentation, but if you have any nutrition-related question, hopefully I'll be able to answer it. If I don't know, I'll let you know, then I'll get back with the answer. All right, so a little bit about me. Again, my name is Anud Mohammed. I am a master's student in the university, Loma Linda University. I'm graduating this coming June and hopefully working in the pediatrics field. Thank you. Thank you. So I am very passionate about nutrition. I actually, in my high school, I had an option to go into med school in the university. But I also had applied for nutrition, and I'm like, you know what, nutrition is my passion. It is where, prevention occurs, to prevent from chronic diseases and, diseases later on in life. We should really target prevention through nutrition and lifestyle. So this is what I do on my own, and this is what I do with my family, is like a lot of prevention and a lot of, lifestyle changes that are very sustainable. We're going to talk about these today. I have a lot of tips for you. So like I said, we'll take all the questions at the end. Are we ready to start? All righty. So normal changes that occur as we age include heart. I have heart at the first point here because as we age, our heart slows down its functioning. So, and not to say in a bad way, as in like it doesn't function well anymore, but just think of any machine that you have, it slows down with overusage, right? And there are a lot of ways to kind of slow down this process of the heart going slower. There's a lot of things we can do as a lifestyle to slow that down, and we're going to talk about these. But as we age, our heart kind of gets tired. It is a muscle at the end of the day, and overworking the muscle can make it get tired. And a lot of things can affect it, such as blood pressure fluctuations, what we eat, how we exercise, etc. Second thing is that metabolism slows down. And metabolism is how we digest our food and how we excrete energy from our food. And then we use this energy for our daily living, such as eating, walking, exercising, even just sitting. You're using this energy that you got from your food. But as we age, metabolism slows down. So we don't metabolize as well. Our gut or our digestive system slows down. And there are a lot of things that can aid in that. One of them is fiber, and we're going to be talking about that as well. Third is the potential muscle loss. So as we age, we all lose muscle. This is a natural thing. It's not like if someone loses muscle, that means something is wrong with them. That's not the case. We all lose muscle, which is lean mass, as we age, and there are a lot of things to slow that down as well, such as exercise. Again, we're going to be talking about that as well. Bone density, I'm sure you guys are aware of bone density going down as we age, and this is a natural thing that happens in everybody. And there are a lot of things as well we can do to slow that down. The last two, not a lot of people are aware that with age we lose a lot of, our eyesight kind of slows down a little bit. We develop a lot of dental caries just by being older. So there's a lot of lifestyle things and foods that we can pair together to slow down the cavity, developing cavities in our mouth and dry mouth, etc. So all of these are natural changes that occur as we age. I'm going to start with heart health because it is important. A lot of people have heart problems. A lot of people have had heart attacks, myocardial infarctions. We see that more common these days. So I'm going to start with this because I feel it's very important to touch on all the changes or a lot of recommendations that nowadays nutritionists and dietitians are focusing on to prevent any heart issues. So as we age, our heart vessels and blood vessels change. They stiffen and they slow down as we age. So having cholesterol, like high cholesterol or high blood pressure, are the main reasons for these arteries and vessels to stiffen. And controlling blood pressure and controlling the cholesterol, as in like reducing LDL cholesterol and increasing our HDL cholesterol, can reduce the stiffness that we get in blood vessels, and therefore preserving our heart function. And nutrition-wise, so there are a lot of foods that can help our heart. Now, who's aware, who here knows that fat is bad for your heart? By the show of hands. All right, do you guys, by the show of hands, do you know which type of fat is harmful for our heart? Or do you know that there are types of fat? All right, well, I heard animal fat. So there are actually different kinds of fat, and fat has been villainized for years, where it's not really that bad for us if we pick the right one. So there's saturated fat, there's monounsaturated fat, there's polyunsaturated fat, and I know these are big words, but really when we break them down and we look at the foods they come from, you might be eating a lot of these foods, but you need to really know which ones you're eating, which ones to reduce in your diet to kind of help your heart function at its full capacity. Next would be fruits and vegetables. We highly recommend everybody to eat as much fruits and vegetables as you can, unless you have a condition such as diabetes, which prevents you from having a lot of fruits. But also, I want to stress that people with diabetes can still enjoy their fruits if they pair them with something like protein, for example. And we'll be talking about that as well. Unsaturated fats like omega-3 is one that helps our heart function better, and it reduces our bad cholesterol and it increases our good cholesterol. Fiber, who knows what fiber is by a show of hands? All right, fiber is great for cholesterol. It reduces your cholesterol if you consistently consume it in your diet. And then we have limiting alcohol, which is a big one. So alcohol harms our heart. I mean, excessive alcohol. I'm not going to say like 1 or 2 drinks a day is going to be that harmful, but reducing alcohol in general is going to help your heart function better. And limiting salt intake and focusing on minerals such as potassium, magnesium, and calcium are actually good for your heart because they help your heart pump better. So our heart is a muscle, and it pumps blood out of the heart for the rest of your body. So the more you have these little nutrients such as potassium, magnesium, and calcium, the better your heart gets that. Think of it as a voltage that gets your heart to pump the blood to the rest of the body. So the good news out of this slide is that there's a lot of things we can do to help our heart. All right, so here this slide shows you some of the things that we would want people to focus on for a healthier heart. So the unsaturated fats would be things like fish, shrimps, avocados, nuts and seeds. They all have unsaturated fats. Omega-3 is an unsaturated fat that is very good for the heart, and a lot of other things. And I'm going to talk about eye health in a bit, and unsaturated fats are great for eye health. Fiber comes from whole grains, from beans, nuts, and seeds as well, and fiber helps our body move things easier and more smoothly. Potassium is great for the heart as well, unless you have like a kidney issue or kidney disease or chronic kidney disease, then you have to control your potassium and phosphorus intake. But if you don't have a kidney disease, then potassium is great to include in your diet, from tomatoes, bananas, really all fruits and vegetables, greens have a lot of potassium in them. Magnesium and calcium are also very important. And calcium, a lot of people think of calcium from dairy products. Who here knows of another food that has calcium besides dairy? Not much. Nuts, yes, but have you ever thought of broccoli or bok choy or greens like Swiss chard? These things are packed with calcium, and sometimes they even have more calcium than a cup of milk. So include all these colors in your diet, include all the veggies and fruits, because they also contain a lot of calcium. In the past, I had patients ask me, they're vegan, they don't eat animal products, and they really wanted to get their calcium, and they didn't want to get it through supplements. So the thing with supplements is that, we all take supplements. A lot of people do take supplements. But the thing with supplements is that, yes, it gives you one nutrient at a time, but when you think of a machine with multiple parts to it working together, this is what a whole food would give you versus taking a supplement. So there's a synergistic effect, or things work together in whole foods that help you absorb a nutrient better than if you take it in a single pill. So if we take, let's say, calcium in a single pill, we take it, we swallow it, maybe we get 50, 60% of it because there's a bioavailability of a percentage that we actually absorb, and the rest is excreted. But when you're getting calcium, let's say, from a cup of spinach or Swiss chard or even milk or cheese, there's other components in that food that help that calcium be absorbed to a higher percentage in your body. That's what I mean by synergistic effect. So, for example, fiber or other nutrients, for example, vitamin D or phosphorus, they take that calcium and move it in our body so that we absorb it better. All right? So getting the same amount of calcium from a pill is not the same as getting it from whole foods. That's the point I'm trying to get across. All right. So I have weight management here because weight management is very important. It reduces abdominal obesity or abdominal adiposity. So we focus on the abdominal area because there's a higher risk of developing chronic diseases if the fat distribution is more in the abdominal area. So losing weight and exercising helps you lose that fat in this area. So the type of fat we have, there's subcutaneous, which is the fat we know of under the skin, and then there's visceral fat, which is on our organs. This fat sits on our organs, and this is more of the harmful kind of fat. So if you have a high amount of fat in your abdominal area, this is kind of an indicative, point that you have more visceral fat on the inside of your body. Okay? Approaches to weight loss must be considered obviously with your doctor, and also you have to follow a program that does not cause you to lose a lot of weight, because if you lose a lot of weight really fast, you might be losing a lot of muscle instead of fat, and then this could affect your balance, your walking, you could lose a lot of nutrients, which we don't want. So a sustained weight loss following a program and with a doctor's guidance is the best way to do it. And the interesting part right here with the hip fracture point, I was working with a doctor once, and we were talking about hip fractures. I don't know if you guys know this, but we always think that someone falls and then they fracture a bone, correct? It's the other way around. So the person usually has very brittle, weak bones that they experience a little bit of a fracture, then they fall. So it starts with a weak bone. It starts with bones that are not as strong to carry a frame or a muscular structure, and then that causes the fall, and then they see that it has been fractured. So it's the other way around. So if we focus on keeping our bones healthy and strong, then we avoid the fall, and therefore avoiding the fracture. All right? So here I have this slide about knowing your calorie needs. So we don't all know how many calories we need. We kind of just eat and go on with our days, correct? Knowing how much calories you need is important, but I can't take one of you guys and be like, oh, you need 1,500, you need 1,700. It really depends on your body shape, your height, your weight. It depends on whether you're a man or a woman. It depends on your physical activity. If you have any illnesses or chronic diseases, some diseases require you to have a lot more calories. Others require you to have way less calories. So working with a registered dietitian is really essential if you're trying to find out how many calories you need and where to get them from. When you're looking to pick your foods, look for dietary fiber. I'm a big advocate for fiber because it does wonders in our body, and we'll talk about that. Calcium and vitamin D. So if you do go on a diet, you want to lose weight, make sure you're not compromising your vitamin D, calcium, or fiber. And you want to take less of or moderate intake of saturated fats, sodium, which is salt in other words, and added sugars. And added sugars are in everything. If you go to the grocery store and look at the ingredient list, sugar's in everything, and now they don't add the word sugar. They add it in different forms. So like dextrose, or sometimes they put cane syrup, or sometimes they put corn syrup. All of these are sugar. So just make sure you know what you're consuming and looking at the ingredient list. Here I have a nutrition facts table. How many of you know how to read a nutrition facts label? Okay, not many, and I don't blame you. It is confusing. There's a lot of numbers on there. The health claims and the wording on the front of the package is completely confusing. I have been confused for a long time before getting a nutrition. It's like, what is that? Do you really need a degree to read a food label? So turns out, yeah, you actually need to know a lot to read a food label. We will go through it really quickly, and we'll take questions at the end, and I can go back to any of these slides if you guys want me to go look at a certain point. So this one here, I don't know what this is. Let's say it's cereal, for example. The calories, and then the nutrition facts table went through a lot of changes over the years to make the calories stand out and the serving size stand out. So here, for example, 2/3 a cup of the cereal will give you 230 calories. And then looking at all these numbers are all in 2/3 of this cereal. So let's say you eat a, like a whole cup of cereal. These numbers don't apply because you're getting way more than that. So you need to match how much you're eating to how much the serving size on that package is. All right? And then you need to look at the added sugar component over here, which goes under carbohydrates. Now, total sugar tells you how much sugar you have naturally occurring plus added. And then if you look over here, it gives you how much is added to it. So let's say this is a juice box, and it tells you 10 grams of total sugar, but then you see 9 added. You know that most of it they've added through processing. It's not naturally occurring. So make sure you look at that added sugar section over here. And then these right here, the lower portion of the nutrition facts label, these are the ones you want to get more of. So these are the good nutrients for you, unless you have a disease limiting you from having one of these nutrients. Otherwise, you want to have a lot of these. And lastly, I want to point the fiber section here under carbohydrate. You want this to be as high as possible. And we'll talk about fiber. It is a great nutrient, but then there's a little tip for adding fiber. Oh, it was the next slide. Great. All right, so fiber, like I said, I cannot stress how important it is enough, because it is very important to focus on fiber. It can improve your health. It can improve your digestive health. So the main function of fiber is to keep things moving smoothly in our system. So we eat something that has fiber. If it has a lot of fiber, it's most likely to exit our body smoothly, no constipation. You absorb more the nutrients if there's fiber, because it kind of, yes, it moves it slowly, but it kind of slows it down. So then that food gets exposed to all the cells that suck out the nutrients more. So you do want it to stay there for a lot of time to get all the nutrients you need. And fiber does just that. And by staying in your body for a significant amount of time, all these toxins that are produced in our regular body functions get excreted out of our body with fiber. Think of it as a glue or a little taxi that goes through your body, takes away what you don't need, excretes it out of your body, and then helps you slow down your food so that you can absorb all these good nutrients from it. And also, since it keeps food longer, it keeps you feel full for longer. So then you're full for a longer time. That is a great thing to add if you're trying to manage your weight or lose weight. So then if you have a significant amount of fiber, let's say for breakfast, you won't be hungry after an hour because you just ate a meal that has a lot of fiber. You won't be hungry for a few hours after because you feel full for longer. Now, there are two forms of fiber. There's soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. And this is important. I added it here just so you guys know the difference, and also to know that this type of fiber, the soluble fiber, we need to have enough water for this fiber to work, or it will do an opposite effect. I know. So again, I'll say this again because it's very important. If you're eating, let's say, oatmeal every day, but you're still having constipation and you're thinking, all right, she said I need to eat fiber. Why am I not going? You're probably not eating enough, you're not drinking enough water. Because this soluble fiber acts as a glue, and let's say your glue is powder. Would that powder turn into a glue if you don't add water? If you don't add water to it? It will not. So then if you eat all this fiber and you don't drink enough water, it will not become this consistency that will suck out the cholesterol and the toxins to get it out of your body. So then it will cause constipation. So then you need to drink enough water with your fiber. And this is the type of fiber that lowers cholesterol. So let's say you have a high LDL cholesterol and you don't want to take medication for it. You want to try nutrition. It's totally doable by adding, let's say, oats, barley, legumes, you like beans. If you eat it every single day, it can really lower your cholesterol just by that. It is that powerful. Secondly, we have our insoluble fiber, and this comes from wheat, rice, grains, and this acts as like a scrub in your body. It kind of bulks up our stool, which is our poop. So it bulks it up and helps it come out of our body in one cohesive shape and form. And we want that, right? We don't want our stool to be, cut off. We don't want to go multiple times to the bathroom. Having a cohesive one piece of stool, sorry I'm talking about this, I might making some people uncomfortable, but it's important. This is nutrition. And the number of times I talked about poop was, a lot. So this is why fiber is important, because it really helps us go and feel comfortable. And after you eat, when you go to the bathroom, you feel nice and empty. This is what we want. That's why I'm stressing the importance of fiber. All right. Here are some tips for adding fiber. Like I said, a variety of fruits and vegetables. Getting it gradual throughout the day instead of one meal is important. So don't try to get all your fiber for breakfast. This will just cause, you to feel very full, maybe bloated, because, it takes time for this fiber to move. So space it out throughout your day. Drink plenty of fluids. If there's one message to take today, is drink plenty of fluids with your fiber. Choose whole grains. For example, pasta. Try whole wheat pasta. Try whole wheat bread. Anything with nuts and seeds, anything that's brown and whole grain. This has a lot of fiber. Eat fruits and vegetables with the skin on. So if you peel your apple usually for reasons other than like chewing or swallowing, try keeping the skin on. This is your insoluble fiber. You need it. So the soluble and insoluble work together to give us a good, system. So if you can, keep it on, like not avocados or bananas, but things that you can keep the skin on. So keep the skin on when you can. Eat fresh or canned fruit instead of fruit juice. So this is one thing that I've been trying to talk about for schools, because I have 2 children, and they go to schools, and they give them juice, and I've been telling schools, why give them juice? Why drink your sugar if you can eat your sugar? So if you're squeezing an orange, how much of a cup would an orange give you? Not much, right? Maybe this much. But if you want to get a cup of orange juice, you're going to have to squeeze maybe 3-4 oranges, correct? So you're getting this much sugar in 1 cup. But if you were to sit and eat 3-4 oranges, I don't think you can. That's a lot of oranges. And that's all your fiber. It fills you up. You need it. So try to eat your sugar instead of drinking your sugar. This is very important for diabetes control, for having enough fiber, for managing your, spikes in in blood sugar levels. So this is a very important tip. Having 1 to 3 servings of fruits and vegetables at every meal will ensure you have a lot of fiber. And when possible, choose recipes that says whole grain. So whole grain instead of white or processed flours, make sure that you have this fiber in it. All right, here we go. So benefits of weight loss. So if you think, or your doctor thinks that you have extra weight that you'd like to lose, this is important because it does help with insulin resistance. Who knows what insulin resistance is? By the show of hands. All right, a couple. So insulin resistance is exactly what it sounds like. We know that insulin is the hormone that our pancreas secretes to regulate our blood sugar or glucose. When we are overweight or obese, our body does not respond to insulin so well. Losing weight and being at a normal weight will help you have more of improved insulin resistance. So when you're overweight, your body resists this insulin. It doesn't let it do what it's supposed to do, bringing your blood sugar down. But if you're at a normal weight, you have a better control of your insulin resistance. It's not as resistant, it's more sensitive. So you'll hear me say it a couple of times in this slideshow that you want to be more insulin sensitive. So as soon as your pancreas secretes insulin, sugar is brought down to normal levels. You want that. Being on a normal weight is a big point for reducing insulin resistance. Exercise is great. How many people exercise? Oh, wow, love it, love it. So exercise is awesome for maintaining your weight or managing your weight. But then if you want to lose weight, exercise plus a calorie restriction will even be more beneficial. It would reduce your fasting glucose levels, and it will also help you become more sensitive to insulin. And inflammatory biomarkers, so when you do a regular checkup or you do a blood test at the doctors, they check for inflammatory biomarkers to see if there's any infections or any inflammations, if there's any signs of a heart disease or anything in your body is going wrong. They look for inflammatory biomarkers. And being at a normal weight will help you be in those normal levels of these markers. And again, this is very important to be monitored by a physician. Don't go out of here and try to cut your caloric intake by half. You need to be under supervision because losing a lot of weight suddenly is not good either. Okay. So benefits of exercise. Seems like we have athletes here. Everybody's exercising. Love it. So benefits of that is mobility. So the more you exercise, the stronger muscles you have. What do muscles do? They help us move. So if you exercise, your muscles are stronger, so you have improved mobility. And there's, believe it or not, there's a pain reduction. So I read a study a couple of weeks ago, I think, about how exercising releases hormones in our body that keep us happy. The same hormones actually work on our pain receptors in our body. So the more you work out, the less pain you have, and the happier you are. So win, win, win. All right, and then a minimum of 60 to 90 minutes a week is ideal. And it doesn't have to be working out every day, going to the gym, or 60 minutes a day. You don't have to do that. And really, a lot of things count as physical activity. So you got up and you came here, this counts. You're vacuuming at home, this counts. You're walking your dog, it counts. So anything that gets you moving is considered a physical activity. So here, aerobic or muscle strengthening activities, anything that requires you to put it, to work your muscles or lift is actually going to be very beneficial for your bones and muscles, and we'll talk about that in a bit. And then some modifications are required for people with some diseases. So if you have any, condition that requires you not to walk or not to lift, if you have back problems, you have joint problems, you cannot exercise or lift, there are modifications and there's certain workouts or exercises for those people. So maybe asking a trainer or looking online, or your physician will tell you which ones are appropriate if you have conditions limiting you from working out. And then if you combine physical activity with diet, this shows amazing results, whether it's your mental health, whether it's your physical health. Combining both together, diet and physical activity show much better outcomes. All right, maintaining muscle mass. So as I said at the beginning, we naturally lose muscle as we age. So I am 32 now. When I was 25, I probably had more of a lean muscle mass. Everybody loses muscle as they age. Same as with bones, and we'll talk about bones. But it's much harder to maintain muscle because it takes a lot of work. You need to eat enough protein, you need to exercise to keep your muscles, so it takes a lot more work. But it's very important. You have muscles all over from head to toe, and this is what's keeping me standing right now, keeping you sitting right now in an upright position. We really need our muscles to do absolutely everything. So it's very important to focus on that. Nutrition-wise, we need quality proteins, such as from eggs, fish, poultry, lean red meat. And I'm going to highlight the word lean, because a lot of people think, oh, I'll just go eat steak every day. It has enough protein. But think about the amount of saturated fat that is present in steak, for example. So I always tell my patients, make sure you get fish, chicken, and yeah, you can get red meat, but in moderation. There are also a lot of protein in plant products. Did you guys know that plants can give you complete protein? Did you know that plants can give you complete protein? Great. So some plants, for example, like chia seeds, hemp seeds, peanuts, they give you protein just as good as an animal product would. So if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, you can still get the protein you need by combining foods together. And for exercises, focusing on strength, balance, and flexibility is very important for maintaining your muscle. So here are some cool activities that you can do or try at home. Am I in anybody's way? Oh, I have to stay here. All right. So here are some things that you can do. It's a low impact exercises. They do not put a lot of pressure on your joints. So you can do those at home, such as walking around the house or even just walking in your spot. This gets your muscles moving. You can do yoga. You can dance. Dancing is a great way to burn calories, get your muscles moving. It's fun, makes you happy, releases those happy hormones. So again, win-win. Pilates is great for balance and for strengthening your muscles, also for flexibility. Leg raises. You don't want to get up. You can just sit down, raise your leg, raise one at a time. This is physical activity. Tai Chi, cycling, or even some at-home exercises like chair-based exercises, squatting at home, getting up and sitting down. All this counts, and you'll be doing your muscles a big favor if you do any of these. All right, so I talked about protein a lot, but do we know where protein is and where it comes from? So it plays a crucial role in maintaining muscle, strength, and all of our body functions, really. So a lot of people think, all right, I want to eat protein because I need my muscles to be strong. But protein goes into every single cellular function in your body, whether it's your eyesight, whether it's your kidney health, whether it's digestion or transport. Right now I'm talking and I have things being transported in my body. Protein is doing that. If I don't have enough, I might not be able to transport these nutrients across my body, from my heart to my intestines. None of that would occur if I don't have enough protein. So it's very important to focus on protein at every meal of the day, every single meal of the day. All right, so, and also it prevents sarcopenia, which is muscle loss. So if you have enough protein, we prevent sarcopenia. Actually, we won't prevent it completely. We'll slow down this muscle loss that is natural as we age. So the more protein you get, the slower this progression of this muscle wasting is. Oops. And also, if you have a wound, or if you just got injured, you broke a leg, or you were burnt, or any kind of injury, if you don't have enough protein in your body, this is going to be a slower healing process versus if you have enough protein in your body or you consume enough protein. Many of my patients in the past who were burn patients or had wounds or injuries, we increased the protein intake dramatically for a period of time, and that increased wound healing significantly. All right. Also, bone health, immune function. How many times did we get sick this year? I myself got sick like 17 times. My kids were home they barely went to school. There's, immune function. Protein is very important for immune function. We don't usually think of that because we're thinking of protein muscles, but it's also very essential. Here are some tips for adding protein. So you can add an egg to a meal. You can add an extra egg to your breakfast. This adds a lot of protein. Increase your milk portion to maybe a little bit more. If you are on like nut milk, for example, almond milk or cashew milk, this also gives you a significant amount of protein. Adding Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. Who here knew that Greek yogurt has a lot of protein? Did you know that? Yeah. So Greek yogurt, not all the other yogurts, they still give you protein, but Greek yogurt specifically has significant amount of protein. So include that in your diet if you don't mind dairy. Cottage cheese also is one of my favorites for breakfast with, like any type of fruit or some drizzle of honey or jam. It makes a great breakfast. Increase your portion sizes of protein in entrees. So let's say you're getting fish, you can get a little bit more if you're trying to increase your protein. And then decrease starches and breads. The reason I put this there is okay, we added protein, but we don't want to add calories. So don't go adding another piece of chicken, keeping the rice and bread the same, because we don't want weight gain. So kind of play with your portion sizes, increase protein, reduce bread and whatever grain you have, and you'll feel full. You won't be able to finish all of it if you're used to a certain amount. If you make smoothies at home, try adding protein powder, nut butters like peanut butter, almond butter, or like nut milk. Also Greek yogurt to your shakes and smoothies. This makes it heavier, makes it more nutritious, gives you more protein in an easy way. Double the amount of sandwich filling. So I added this point, and then I took it out, and then I added again, and I took it out. I'm like, you know what? I'll keep it, but I'll talk about it. So sandwich filling. Let's say you're getting a turkey club. Don't go adding like more turkey because that's a lot of sodium or salt, and that will affect our blood pressure. So I want to make sure that when I say filling, I mean like if it's salt-free or sodium-free. So let's say you're having a tuna sandwich. You made the tuna yourself. You made it with, whatever herbs and dill and lemon and light mayo. You can add a little more to your sandwich, or have it on the side with in a bowl. This will give you more protein and not the sodium. So watch for all the sodium and all those deli meats and cold cuts and bacon. And this is very detrimental for our heart and could really affect our blood pressure negatively. And lastly, here we have add proteins to all snacks. For example, you can add cheese, nuts, nut butters, milk, and yogurt. My favorite snack is a banana or an apple with peanut butter. This is my favorite snack. I have it all the time. When you do pick your peanut butter, make sure it only has peanuts and not a list of ingredients. Because if you go to stores, usually it has canola oil, palm kernel oil, which you don't need. If you just take peanuts and blend it, it'll give you peanut butter. They add a lot of filler ingredients to reduce the amount of peanuts and put more filler ingredients, which you don't need. A lot of stores carry the clean version. All right, bone health. Are we ready for bone health? Okay. All right, so naturally, and we can't run away from the fact that we're all losing bone density. We all are, as we age, by the year. And it starts at around 25 years of age or 30 years of age. You start losing more than building. And at this point, maintenance starts. So you want to try to slow down this, bone loss. So we have two types of cells. That one cell kind of breaks our bones to provide our body with calcium and other nutrients, and the other cells build the bone. So these cells that build the bone slow down as we get older. But we can do a lot of things to keep our bones healthy, such as a healthful diet, and this is a big one, weight-bearing exercises. So I personally, and I don't mind sharing this, I personally have bone degeneration. And when I found that out, I think I was 30 when I found out, and I'm like, what do I do? And then everybody told me, exercise. And it's not cardio, it's weight bearing. So lifting actually helps you preserve your bones, and you don't have to worry about losing a lot of bone and then suffering from fractures and maybe osteoporosis. And so you can really slow that down and never suffer from any of these problems if you eat a healthful diet and exercise, or do weight-bearing exercises specifically, okay? Also, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these nutrients work together as a team. Calcium, vitamin D, potassium, magnesium, vitamin K, they work together to keep your bones healthy, all right? The more you have them from your diet, the less your body's gonna try to strip them off your bones. So your body tries to keep these levels normal in your blood. But if you're not getting it from the diet, where is your body going to get calcium? It's going to go to your bone and start stripping it off from your bone to provide your blood. So we don't want that. We want to take it in our diet. We want to consume it in our diet and keep the levels normal so our bones don't have to lose any of the calcium that's inside. Yes? Okay. All right. So we have a calcium bank account, I like to call it. So we can really we recommend you get 3 servings of low-fat or fat-free milk, soy, or yogurt to get your calcium intake. And like I said at the beginning, it's not just dairy products. You can get it from leafy green vegetables, calcium-fortified foods. So calcium-fortified orange juice, for example. Have you seen that in stores? This is a great source of calcium. Don't be afraid to get anything that is fortified. This has been added by manufacturers to provide more nutrients, and this is a great way to get your nutrients, by fortified foods. Canned sardines, salmon with soft bones. So I don't think many people eat canned fish, which I feel really offended by that. Everybody, I asked so many people, do you eat sardines? Do you eat canned salmon? They're like, no, yuck. Why? It's good. It's packed with nutrients. It is very affordable. Do you guys shop at Costco? Anybody shops at Costco? I live at Costco. They have a room there for me. But so Costco has really like amazing deals on like sardines or tuna or, canned salmon. And these are packed with omega-3s, packed with calcium, packed with vitamin D. So if you don't want to go and eat fresh fish, or maybe some people can't afford fresh fish, canned fish is just as good and sometimes even more nutritious. Okay? 100% fruit juice that has been fortified gives you a lot of calcium as well. Select calcium-rich or excellent source of calcium. So the front of the package would say excellent source of, or it would say fortified with. Go for those options. So more tips for bone health would be avoiding smoking. Smoking will erase everything we said and will do the opposite effect. It will actually deteriorate our bones. Will make our body take more of the calcium and give us this osteomalacia or the soft bones, which we don't want. Smoking is a big reason a lot of people have osteoporosis. Avoiding excessive alcohol intake is a big tip as well. Having bone density tests, regular bone density tests, check how your bones are doing, make sure you're not having any, osteoporosis starting. This is a good way to know where you are in your bone health. And also calcium supplements with vitamin D. If you are taking a calcium supplement, the doctor has recommended calcium supplement, maybe you're not getting it from your diet in enough amounts, make sure it says with vitamin D. Like I said, these two work in synergy. They like working together. So if you take it together in one pill, this will help you get more of the benefit from it. Oral health. This is one of my favorite topics because there's a lot of foods that can actually harm our oral health and some foods that actually help. Who here knows that some types of gum can prevent cavities? Nobody, and I didn't know either. So the gum that says, what is it? Xylitol. If it starts with xylitol, this actually helps prevent cavities. So when you do go get a pack of gum, look for xylitol as a first ingredient. This actually will help your teeth and gums. So some consideration is tooth decay and tooth loss as we age. So this is a common problem. Secondly, we have gum diseases. A lot of people suffer from gum diseases or dry mouth. That is also common as we age. So we lose a lot of fluids as we age. Our body loses lean muscle mass or muscle mass in general, and muscle carries water. So when we lose it, we lose this hydration, we lose water, and we suffer from dry skin, dry eyes, and dry mouth is also one of them. Nutrients to focus on, guess what? Calcium and vitamin D are there too. If I can't stress calcium and vitamin D enough, I think it was in every slide that I mentioned. So calcium, vitamin D, very important. Phosphorus and vitamin C, also very important for oral health. Some tips is to brush with fluoride toothpaste. Now, I'm not a dentist, but I am a dietitian to be, so I can safely put this there. Brushing with a fluoride toothpaste unless the doctor tells you to do otherwise. Drinking plenty of water. Do you just know why drinking plenty of water helps with our teeth health? Okay, so think of you just had a meal and you don't drink a lot of water. All that food residue is going to be in between your teeth. It's going to be on your gums, it's going to be on the ridges of your teeth. But if you drink plenty of water, it's like giving your teeth constant flushes to get all that residue out of your teeth, and you swallow it. And then, like I said, chewing sugarless gum, limiting snacking. So if you continuously snack on foods, this increases the residue of foods in your teeth or between your teeth. And then having regular dental visits to make sure you don't have any major problems with your teeth is also important. So I don't have it on the slide, but I'll mention it really quickly. So we have two types of foods, something called cariogenic, which means causes cavities, and we have karyostatic foods, which do the opposite, actually help our teeth not, get cavities. And the difference between these two foods is that the cariogenic foods reduces the pH of our mouth. Do you guys all know what pH is? Making more of an acidic environment in our foods. the more acidic our environment is in our foods, the more acidic the environment is in our mouth, the more you're prone to developing cavities. So think coffee. Coffee is acidic, correct? If we continuously drink coffee and without flushing it with water afterwards to neutralize that pH, you're more prone to developing cavities. Citrus fruits, they're amazing. Oranges, peaches, they're great. But if you continuously eat them without neutralizing this pH in your mouth, you can develop cavities at a higher rate than if you have a neutral pH. So those are the cariogenic foods. In cariogenic category also we have breads, cereals, anything that gets fermented by bacteria produces gas that is low in pH, also causes cavities. So I'm not saying don't eat these things, but when you do, drink water afterwards, neutralize that pH. It's as simple as drink some water after you eat every single time. Some of the foods that help with our dental health would be vegetables, would be things that are neutral in pH, water, like I said, gum, and aged cheeses. And this was a surprise to me. Did you guys know that aged cheeses can help your teeth? I had no idea. But when I read that, I went and I bought Parmesan cheese, and that was my excuse for eating it. If it's for my teeth. All right. This is I just threw this slide there just to put a visual into what all the foods that I'm recommending. Fluoride, if it's not in your toothpaste, you can have it from seafood, seaweeds. Vitamin D, you can get it from, like I said, eggs, fish. Vitamin C is found in all these foods, cabbages and cauliflower. And then vitamin A are in things like are orange or red in color. You get your vitamin A. And then calcium from dairy. Or, where is calcium also present? Yeah, greens, vegetables, great. Yes, yes, yes. All right, eye health. So eye health is also very important. And this one is one of my favorites because it goes a little bit more into scientific words. Like, don't worry about these. I put them there just to make my slideshow seem more professional. Did you guys buy it? Okay, works. Great, 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 great. We'll just talk about them in simple words. But eye health, so we have age-related macular degeneration, cataracts, or dry eyes are most common issues as we age. Now, for age-related macular degeneration, carotenoids, which are found, so it's a derivative of vitamin A, and it's found in a lot of vegetables that are orange or red in color. Now, what carotenoids, and specifically lutein and zeaxanthin, these help slow this progression of this disease. So these, we call them phytochemicals, these two, and they are found in high concentrations in our eyes, in the macula specifically. And they help by, keeping our eyes healthy. They're there for that reason. So if you have those in good amounts in your body, then your body will have it to take care of your eyes like it should. But if we don't have it, and let's say we're deficient in vitamin A, then the body's going to try to compensate somehow, some way, and you might start seeing signs of this. Okay? Next would be cataracts. And this one, I put tomatoes there because this specific phytochemical, lycopene, is found mostly in tomatoes. It is an antioxidant. And if you guys don't know what an antioxidant is, it is something that gets rid of little free radicals. I heard it. Wow. Free radicals in your body that causes disease. So we all have free radicals floating around. We get it from pollution, we get it from food, we get it from smoking, stress. So many things give us free radicals, and there's more reasons nowadays to get free radicals than maybe in the past. There's a lot of stressors in our life naturally. So we all have these free radicals floating around in our body. But we also, thankfully, have a lot of nutrients in our food to get rid of these free radicals, such as carotenoids, lycopene, and a lot of other ones. And they're all in fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds. Off topic, but nuts and seeds have, I can't stress enough how much nuts and seeds have these phytochemicals that get rid of all these little free radicals that cause diseases. So the more you have things that get rid of our free radicals, the more you're maintaining the health of your eyes, mouth, bone, etc. Lycopene in general makes sure our cataracts are, healthy, and it also keeps them fluid. I don't know how to say it, moist instead of, losing the moisture. This is the job of lycopene in tomatoes. Lastly, we have dry eyes, which also lycopene works just as well. Omega-3 fatty acids, which are in fish oil, flax seeds, chia seeds, all these things. This is very healthy for dry eyes. So if you do have dry eyes, maybe you should consider taking a supplement, and I don't stress that as much because I want to say have it in your food, fish, nuts, seeds. If you have this and all the time consistently, you'll be doing your eyes a big favor with all these three conditions. All right. Now to sum things up. So I just put it all in one slide here. So choosing a variety of colorful fruits and vegetables. So go out to the market, get as many different foods as you can. I didn't know that purple potatoes were so tasty. They are. So go find things that you don't typically buy and try it. Worst case, what? You won't like it, you won't eat it anymore. Yeah, but really every color of vegetable gives you a different nutrient. So if you're only eating potatoes, you're really missing out on a lot of nutrients that are in bell peppers, Swiss chard, mint, parsley, cilantro, all these foods. Combine them, make a salad, see what they give you, see how they taste. You'll be getting all these nutrients from a variety of sources. And the more colorful your plates are, the more nutrients you're getting. Having adequate amount of calcium-rich foods is very important, and now we know that vegetables also give us calcium. Eating your fiber. Eat your fiber. Eat your fiber. Fiber is essential. Cholesterol goes down with fiber. Your gut health, better with fiber. You'll be giving your gut a better microbiota. And by microbiota, I'm meaning this good bacteria in our gut that helps us digest our food, gives us essential fatty acids, gives us nutrients, this community that we have in our gut is, a lot of people forget about it. And really having this fermented foods, having your fiber and having your probiotics, which we didn't talk about today, but if you have questions we can definitely address afterwards, is very essential. And fiber is great at that. Quality protein. I said quality because there's a lot of bad quality protein out there. So getting your protein from deli meats is not the best way to do it because you're getting a lot of preservatives, you're getting a lot of salt, a lot of unnecessary things in there. But if you're eating a piece of fish or a piece of chicken, lean meat, then you're getting a good quality protein. Just like with beans. Beans are amazing for protein. Your omega-3 fatty acids from your fish, nuts, and seeds is very essential, especially as we grow and as we age. This is essential for our skin later. We don't want wrinkles. So having your omega-3 will really give you a nice skin that is elastic, it's present in a lot of foods that also have protein. So this is an important point. Lastly is staying active. So staying active, and like I said before, you don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to put a schedule and, okay, I'm going to work out 50, 60 minutes a day to get my exercise in. No, get up every once in a while. Walk around, walk your dog, go to your friend's house instead of calling them. All these things add up. And you get your physical activity just by that. And I think that's the last one. Thank you, everybody. And if you have any questions.
Questions, anyone? I know somebody's got questions here.
I can go back to any slide if you want me to.
Okay, hang on just 1 second.
I had a question as far as taking supplements. How valuable are they?
Yeah, well, like I said, it's very specific from person to person. So I'm not going to say, hey, don't take any supplements, because supplements are very important in some cases. So if your doctor has recommended you to take some supplements for a deficiency, then you need a supplement. If you're deficient, let's say in vitamin D, just eating it in your diet is not going to get you up there as fast as you should. So getting a supplement is the best way to do it. So yes, by all means, get your supplement. But keep your foods that are high in vitamin D. So you need to get it from both places. Is that your question?
Like at Costco, I get calcium.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
no, they're
things like-
good. You're still going to benefit from them. Your body's going to absorb the calcium for sure. But if you're getting your calcium or vitamin D from the food, you're getting a lot of other benefits that are going to be good for your body besides just that calcium that's going to be absorbed, and probably not 100% of it is being absorbed. So keep taking your supplements, but at the same time, make sure you're eating the foods that are going to give you all the other benefits. So my point is, do not depend on supplements. Do not go, all right, I'm just going to take supplements and just not eat fruits and vegetables. It's never going to work. It's not, you might solve a deficiency, but you're missing out on a lot of health benefits that are present in our foods, in this complex structure of the foods. Right? Yes.
I have two comments. One, can you speak to the issue of people taking iron supplements when they're tired without having a proven iron deficiency anemia? And then also, I know it's been quite controversial about how much protein do people need in terms of grams when they're in our age group, if you could speak to that.
Yeah, of course. That's actually a great question. Two questions. So the first one about the iron. So iron, you don't usually just take iron just because you want to take iron unless you have a reason to be taking iron. For example, having an anemia. So when you do have, let's say, an anemia or a deficiency in iron, it's either you're circulating iron in your body or it's your iron stores that are depleted. And depending on which one you have, usually doctors would recommend you take a supplement to bring your levels back up. And the reason you feel tired when you are deficient in iron is because iron is an essential component of hemoglobin that goes through your body and circulates blood. So when you don't have that iron, this circulation doesn't occur as efficient as it should, and then you feel tired. So that is the reason why people feel tired when they have an anemia. But taking iron just for taking iron, I've never heard, unless it's a part of a multivitamin, then yes. But did I answer that question? Did I answer your question? Yes.
And they just think, oh, I'm tired, and I understand that iron might make me feel better. So they go to the store and buy iron and begin taking it, and there's dangers to that.
Of course. So there is iron toxicity. So if you take iron when you don't need iron, you could have a toxicity from iron. Now, being tired, there are multiple reasons for being tired. It's not always iron. There's a lot of reasons. For example, having, like I said, hemoglobin, having deficiency in any other nutrient can make you feel tired. Maybe your hormones are out of whack, so maybe a hormone check would help. So there's multiple reasons besides going for iron that could cause fatigue or being tired. Your second point there was about protein. So everybody's different, like I said. General rule would be 0.8 of a gram per kilogram of body weight. This is the general recommendations that we give, but we can't give it to anybody before analyzing how much they need. So people, let's say, on dialysis need much more protein than people who are not, because they're losing a lot of the protein via dialysis. People who are older need more protein because of the muscle loss, but also not much more. It would be 1 gram to 1.1 grams per kilogram. So it would be a little bit higher than a normal a person who is just an adult versus 65 above. So there's different values depending on age and also depending on condition. So right off the bat, just tell you, oh, this is the amount you need. It wouldn't work before going through an assessment of your health conditions, your body weight, your ideal body weight, and then I'll be able to give you a specific amount of protein for your condition. All right?
Do you agree that too much water or liquids can harm you?
Absolutely. Anything in excess can harm you. So all these things that I said, make sure you get a lot of, can harm you. Even fiber. I said make sure you eat a lot of fiber. But if you eat a lot of fiber, that could actually hinder the absorption of iron, calcium, because it's going to be all this gooey substance in your intestine and then things that cannot be absorbed anymore. So anything in excess can actually harm you. For water, it's really hard to go into that levels of really excess amount of water unless you are on fluid restriction or you have a kidney issue. So let's say someone has a acute kidney injury or have chronic kidney disease. You are on fluid restriction. You have a certain amount of water they should be getting, not more, not less, because then your dialysis depends on that, your nutrients depend on that. So unless you have that, then no. We usually say 1 ml per calorie, okay, or about 8 cups a day.
Yeah, my husband had a bad habit of drinking water all day.
Okay?
Drank way too much water. He was just in the hospital a couple of weeks ago,
Mhm.
and his sodium level was dangerously low.
Oh.
And they said because of the water that
You said
he
the
was
sodium is
drinking-
dangerously low?
Pardon me?
What was the dangerously low?
Sodium.
Sodium.
level.
Sodium.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he was flushing out the sodium in
Yes.
his body, and it was dangerously low.
Yes,
So
yes. That is possible. So like I said, if you get a lot of fluids, you're diluting all these antioxidants, things that are usually in water. So you'll be diluting all your B vitamins, you'll be diluting all your sodium, potassium, calcium. So when you go and you check your levels, it's going to be much lower because you have all this increased volume, which is water. So I personally would recommend, and I'm saying this generally, I don't know your husband, I don't know his health conditions, but I'm saying in general, to reduce the water intake to about 1 ml per calorie, and just really drink 8 cups a day. You can't you can't dilute when you drink 8 cups a day. And when I say 8 cups a day, I don't mean just water. This includes fluids. This includes your coffee, your tea, your soup. Anything that melts at room temperature is considered a fluid. So it's not just 8 cups of water, but I'm also going to drink 8 cups of coffee. That's a lot of fluid. So make sure your fluid comes from different places and you account for that as well. So yes, a lot of water can be harmful. Hi.
Getting back to dental health,
Mhm.
you mentioned a certain ingredient in chewing gum that helps with preventing cavities.
Yes.
Could you repeat what the...
Xylitol. So it's X, starts with an X, Ilytol, I think. Xylitol.
Okay. And do you recommend a specific brand of chewing gum?
No,
that-
as long as it doesn't have added sugar, but it has xylitol as one of the first ingredients, then I highly recommend that. Hold on, let me here. So it's Xylitol. Xylitol is a type of sugar, it's sugar-free, but it's a type of sugar that actually helps maintain the pH of your body. So it's kind of like a sugar derivative, but it's not sugar. Like it wouldn't give you any added, sugar won't raise your blood sugar levels. They added mostly to gums, and there's some oral products that have it, but mostly it's in gum, and it helps prevent cavities.
On the supplements,
Yeah.
is there a brand better than others, or what do you look, because there's so much out there?
I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad. I'm so glad you asked that. This is a great point. So I wouldn't say a specific brand, but I would say that whenever you're buying supplements, you want to look for the third-party purified stamp on your supplements. So I know I'm getting a lot of confused faces. So there's a stamp at the back of your supplements that says either GMP or it says USP. And these all mean that this product has been through third-party purification process. So if there's any, heavy metals, any residue, any of that they looked at it and it's been removed. So you want to make sure that all the supplements you take have been purified. You don't want to take any supplement. I've heard of cases that some people got heavy metal toxicity from just buying anything off the counter. So make sure it's a reputable brand. Make sure it has the GMP or USP stamp at the back. And it's really tiny and small. But make sure you look for that. For a brand, I personally use Now. Do you guys know Now, the orange container? This is usually, most of them are GMP stamped. Any other questions?
Do we have any other questions? Oh, just one moment.
Thank you. I noticed that a lot of people, as they mature, they take a lot of medications. How do you feel about treating various diseases, chronic or otherwise,
through proper diet, exercise, and supplements instead of numerous medications which have adverse side effects?
Yeah, so taking multiple medications, or known as polypharmacy, is a big problem as we age, because some people are on multiple medications. There's a lot of food and drug interactions when we do that. And that's why, as a dietitian, I recommend that you go through the food first. But in some cases, that is not enough. Like, I'm trying to be realistic here. As much as I try to advocate for a healthy diet, and as much as I say, go with the diet, yes, this should remain constant. A healthy lifestyle with food and physical activity should remain a constant, should not change based on any other lifestyle event. However, sometimes with some diseases, it is not enough. We do need the help. We do need these medications. But I can safely say that here in the US, a lot of medications are over-prescribed. Some things are not needed. A lot of my friends, or I know at least 2 of them, have had high cholesterol, and they're in their 30s. And the doctors right away prescribe medication to lower the cholesterol. There hasn't been one doctor that I met that goes through nutrition first. So that's why I say, if you can, ask for a dietitian referral to go see a registered dietitian to see what she or he thinks about going through the diet. And if you can, by all means, that's much better for you physically, better for your kidneys. From all the medications that we're taking, our kidneys sometimes suffer. So if you can avoid taking, let's say, a statin drug for your cholesterol, and you can go through your diet, something as simple as taking, not significant, but good amount of fiber in your diet can reduce cholesterol. So that's why I say, yes, try to go see a registered dietitian to avoid the amount of medications you take, but there are medications that it's inevitable. You need to take them. You need to have them to make processes work better. Diet on its own sometimes is not enough, unfortunately.
Do we have any more questions? No? Well, I would like to thank Anud. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful presentation.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you.
So I just wanted to let you know that our next program is going to be May 7th, and we will be having, San Gregonio Stroke Center. So you'll want to come in and listen to Guillermo. He's going to be the one doing the presentation from San Gregonio. So I thank you for this afternoon, and I hope you learned quite a bit, and you're going to all go get exercise and be healthy.